Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday evening, and just trying to get the last of the feeding finished off with. It's just started doing a little bit of sleet over the last few minutes. Just down now connecting the last little bit of silage to put into the feeder. Doing a mix for the weanlings. So just silage and a small amount of barley and soya is all that they're getting. So the barley has been reduced back. We were giving over 2 kilos, just slightly over 2 kilos, and it's now down to 1 kilo at the minute. So that will be phased out over the coming few days in preparation for them getting out in the springtime. We'll have them weaned off all the barley and meal. We'll continue with the soya for a little while yet, just to help with the protein, but after that, after about a month or so, we'll phase them off it as well. You can see our silage clamp has started to fall down. We're down to the last couple of feet now at the back of the clamp. We've probably got enough to do till about the middle of next week, and then after that we'll be opening the first cut clamp. There's probably twice as much silage in the first cut clamp, so we're not really that worried about silage or silage quantity at the minute. We should have enough, I'd say, to do the winter, but we'll just have to see. Depends on how the winter goes. I've also bought a load of fodder beet. You can see it here on the left hand side, so we're going to start to introduce that. We've got about, I suppose, 25 tonne of potatoes here in the yard still at the minute, and we've got a little, I think we might have one more load that we can collect. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the chopper up now, the beet chopper, and we'll start to chop a little bit of beet and to mix it in with the potatoes, and try and stretch out the potatoes by using the fodder beet. And then once the potatoes then starts to run out, we'll have the cattle then moved on to the fodder beet. So we'll be able to feed on with the fodder beet root crop rather than the potatoes. So that's kind of what's happening with that. What else have we been doing all week? We've been fairly busy. Took home the cows early in the week, so they are now back in the yard here. They're glad to be home. They moved on to the pit silage. They've been on bales on the out farm all autumn and winter, so yeah, they're happy now to be onto the pit silage, and we've moved them on now to the pre-calver minerals. There's about a month to 6 weeks now before they start calving. There will be probably a few around the end of February. That would be fairly normal, and but the majority won't start until you get well into March, around the middle of March. So about a month to 6 weeks before that starts. We also done our herd test on the cows and last year's weanlings. So that was done on Tuesday. We have to read off the second part of that tomorrow. So we'll know tomorrow if we pass that. Hoping that we will. We'll just have to see. You never know. We don't usually have much of a TV problem here on our farm, so we'll just have to see. You never know. What else have we been doing all week? Yesterday we went to myself, Dad, and our friend Jim went to the machinery show in Cavan, which was a very enjoyable night. Don't know if there wasn't probably as many at it as normal. Even though I was noticed last night, it's the first time I've ever been noticed by anybody anyhow. There was a young chap come up to me and asked me was I Cherry 6420, and I asked him, how in the name of God did you know it was me? And he never told me. He kind of walked away, so I didn't really get talking to him, but I'd like to have actually got talking to him a little bit better. He kind of walked back over to the group of friends that he was with, but even if he wants to, if that young chap that come over to me at the show last night, if he's watching or listening, contact me on Facebook and let me know who you are, because I was actually as shocked that somebody come up to me as you will. So yeah, contact me and we'll I'll have a chat with you. But yeah, no, it's very good show. Quite a few different manufacturers where had all the machines on display. Got to have a good look at the new Kramer teleporter, which I'm quite impressed with. And hopefully maybe later in the year we might be getting one on a demo, take one on a day's demo. But we'll wait until we're doing quite a bit of work with the teleporter, and we'll take it out then, so it'll be something interesting. Yeah, so just gonna clean out the feeding box here, make sure everything's alright while the feeder's mixing, and I'll turn you back on when I'm just starting out the feed. That last clip kind of sums up bulls feeding. A little bit of jumping and messing and acting around, especially if there's ones in the back that wants to squeeze in to get feeding. They'll soon figure out that if they jump on the backs of the one in front, that he might annoy him and he might reverse back, and they can get in to start feeding. So it usually goes on for about a half an hour after you feed, and then it'll settle down. Once you don't end up with any with sore feet, that's the main thing. In all fairness, just before we look at the cows, we've had very little trouble with cattle with sore feet in the shed so far. When we put these weaning bulls in, we had to mix some of them together because they were grazing on two different batches, and there was, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 that we had to take out and put on straw and just treat. So But they were back in the shed then maybe about a week or so later, maybe 10 days for a couple of them, and haven't looked back since. So yeah, so far so good. Yeah, so as I said earlier, cows are home, thankfully. Yeah, it's great to have them home. They've been on the out farm now since they went in back in, oh, it's around November time, and or early December could have been actually for some of them. But yeah, great to have them home. They're in fairly good condition. They have been eating quite a bit of round bale silage. Actually 20 bales of silage is what we could squeeze into the feeding passage of the shed on the out farm, and those 20 bales of silage would last, they'd only last 6 days, so there was quite a bit of graping and manual labour involved with feeding them down there. So it's great to have them home now, and you can control now the feed a lot better here at home. You can add a little bit of straw in if you need to. We will be adding a little bit of soya in to help with milk before calving. We've already moved them on to the minerals, as I said earlier, and maybe I didn't say that earlier, did I? Can't remember. But yeah, we've moved them on to minerals since they've come home, and yeah, they're just more manageable now at home, and actually probably more relaxed now as well. You see the bull is in here, but he will be getting out. He's only in here now for getting the TB test done, and he'll be getting out now. We have some grass that we can let him out onto, and yeah, he's just maintaining himself mostly at this stage. Can be quite hard to keep weight on this time of the year. I think I mentioned that last year, but he's not too bad actually. The round bales that they're on must have been fairly good quality, because we never got the round bale silage tested, but he has kept condition fairly well. But we will put him out, and then we'll introduce him to a little bit of meal later on before calving, but that's a little bit down the road. But as I say, we'll have a better look at the cows in the coming days, and talk about some of the things that I'm doing at the minute, I'm going to be doing for in preparation for calving. So that's all to be coming in the next couple of days. So that's really it for now. As always, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It does help with trying to promote and push the videos on. So hit the subscribe button and the like button if you can. Yeah, and until next time, thank you very much for watching.